Hey everybody, welcome to SwJ. Today we're picking up where we left off last time, working on my blanket project, and we're going to be discussing Britain's Royal Mint, going e-mining, and a natural enzyme that breaks down plastic into its component parts. So, let's get into it. So we'll get our first stitch in and start talking about Britain's Royal Mint. Now, e-waste is a major problem. And e-waste is one of the nastiest types of waste out there. Because there's all sorts of chemicals and all sorts of just things that are really bad for the environment. And it's really difficult to break them down into the component parts because electronics have spent so much time getting smaller that they never really paid much attention to how to recover what it is they're putting into the environment. So now, Britain has decided that they're tired of shipping their e-waste out to have it dealt with, and they've decided that they are going to start gold mining their own e-waste. So the British Royal Mint now has a process, and it's a chemical process that was brought to the fore by a Canadian company, a Canada-based company called Exir, E-X-C-I-R, and it has a patent for a new chemistry that strips gold off of circuit boards. So any e-waste they put into this chemical and it strips off, they claim nearly 100% of all the gold in any e-waste off of circuit boards and stuff like that, because the gold, it's not solid gold components, because that would be just ridiculous. It's all a very, very fine plating of gold. It's just the contact surfaces. And the reason that they use gold for that is it's a good transmitter of electricity. It's one of the best transmitters of electricity out there, actually. And so there is so much gold being used in these processes and these electronics that it is actually worthwhile for the Royal Mint of Britain to recover them. And once you get gold out of there, you can't tell it from any other gold. They just smelt it down into their regular supply, and away it goes. So, you know, rather than shipping away valuable e-waste, they are making use of it themselves, which is an awesome step forward. And I feel that other mints should be doing the same thing. Hint, hint, Canada Mint. So yeah, really, really awesome. And if it is a Canada-based chemical process, then we should be all over that. Maybe we are. Maybe I just missed that news story. If you know, let me know, because I don't know, you know. Comments. I love getting the comments. And please feel free to fact check me on anything out here, because I say I read one article and I come and tell you about it, and I really hope that it's true. I am by no means an expert on any of this stuff, but it's good news, and I feel that I want to pass along that good news. That's all I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. It's not all I'm doing, that is what I'm doing. Stay positive. If my positive message can reach 4 people a day, that's pretty awesome. And it gives me my sewing time. Lets me get into these patches. Yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about was there's a new natural enzyme that can break down plastic, the PET plastic, the plastic bottle plastic, into its base components for reuse. So I think it was like ethylene glycol or something that it broke down into, and then a few other components, and they can use this natural enzyme to break down plastic. And to me, that's massive news. And we've had some similar stories like this come through about gut bacteria in cows that are able to break down certain plastics, and there just has to be enough desire and enough funding behind these projects for them to get ahead and to really come to the fore. So now there's a number of things. So I'm gonna save you, I think, talking about the fine details on that one, and just be happy that plastic isn't forever now. You can make plastic and have it either reused or recreated into construction materials. They're making lumber and plastic building blocks out of recycled plastic just by compressing it and squishing it till it fuses together. Some places use chemical processing. The cleanest will prevail, I'm sure. The cleanest and most efficient will prevail. And the plastic that is in the oceans is getting cleaned up, and plastic that's coming out of factories, they're working on ways of filtering that out or coming down to zero plastic. And it's just, there's so much positivity about these things. It's almost overwhelming, because it was so crushing when I was younger, and they started rolling out the recycling programs, and they're saying how bad all the waste is for the planet. And there was a big push when I was going through school to start recycling, and it was a big thing because it was a bit of a hassle for people, right? Like, you have to separate your garbage, you have to know what's recyclable, you have to know what's not, and separate bins, and a lot of places didn't have recycling programs for the first while, so if you wanted to be part of it, you had to bring it somewhere specific and have everything sorted. And it's come a long ways, and it's really easing the mind a lot, because there's so many reports, and it's true, we've kind of messed this planet up, and there are so many people out there who are correcting that there is a lot of hope. I think this series has done me a lot of good personally, because I didn't know, any of this stuff that I've been reporting to you, I didn't know before. And it's all as positive to me as it is to you, and maybe even more so because I'm more immersed in it. I'm doing the research and reading up on these things, and reading a lot of articles that don't actually end up on the channel. Stuff that I hint at here and there. That I've read that's out there that it's positive news as well, and I don't have time to report all of it. That's the crazy thing. I've had to kind of back away. I'm sure you've noticed the shorter episodes. I've had to slow down a little bit because there was just so much. And now that I've made the episodes shorter, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not actually reporting on, and that in and of itself is great news. And if you want to read these articles, I do have a link to them in the thing below in the description. So check them out, see what I haven't been reporting on, see what I will be reporting on in the future. If you want a sneak peek at where I get my info from, check that out. Some really good news. So yeah, just blows my mind that there's all this positivity out there, and yeah, there's a ton of negativity too. There's, it all depends on what you focus on and what you choose to pay attention to. yeah, you can't ignore all the bad things that happen in the world, but you don't have to focus on them, because a lot of the times there's nothing you can do about it. You know, if there is a way that you can help, like if you go on the news and you see, you know, refugees needing a place to stay where you are, then help, you know. Other than that, there's not a whole lot we can do with a lot of situations out there, so yeah. But like, even if you do focus on a lot of the negative news, make sure that you get in your doses of good news as well, because I find a lot of the good news out there kind of trumps the bad news, because we know that wars are going to end, you know, eventually. Conflicts are going to cease. Whatever happens is going to happen. But that doesn't have to be our lives. You know, the positive news oftentimes will let us look beyond the current news. You know, looking beyond what's happening in this moment and looking to the future to say, in the future, we won't have to worry about these plastics anymore. In the future, we won't have to worry about this disease anymore. You know, in the future, like I was talking about in, you know, I think it was last episode, we're all speaking the same language now. So, you know, just those things that would benefit humanity, you know. We just need to break down all the barriers. Language, religion, race, sex. Get rid of all of that. And I'm not saying don't have religion, don't have sexes, don't have these things. I'm saying stop making it matter so much. Focus on what we have in common, and we'll find that the differences aren't so great. Thank you very much for joining me. I do really appreciate the time we get to spend together. Focus on the positive, folks. That's all we can do. Be aware that there's badness in the world. Focus on the positive, and just be the best person you can be. Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. Thanks so much for joining me. I do really appreciate the time we get to spend together. Till next time, keep chilling. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.